Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I proudly present an in-depth review of this 2020 BMW X3 sDrive30i. Here's what the key fob looks like. And the parking lights do turn on when you unlock it. Can't really see it right now, but it does have illuminated door sills. And the exterior lighting consists of full LEDs apart from the front turn signals. So stepping on in, we have this lovely wood trim going across the dash. Alright, so turning on the ignition is actually a simple procedure. You just press the ignition switch 3 times in rapid succession. And that turns on what BMW calls the diagnostic mode. To start, press the brake and press the button as usual. It's got a nice and smooth leather-wrapped power steering wheel. Auto start stop disable right here underneath the start button. The pilot light lets you know that the system is off. Some controls on the steering wheel. You have cruise control. That's to turn it on, but you can only turn it on at speed. Set, resume and cancel, and then this rocker here adjusts your speed. You can adjust by 1 mile per hour or increments of 5, depending on how far you push the button. So, say you're going 38, push it up, now you're going 40 as opposed to 43. Vice versa for down, you'd be going 35. The rockers on the right control the media, so volume, seek, you can also seek with this rocker here, phone, menu, and voice control. It's got automatic wipers, so I'm not going to demonstrate it because we don't need to, but you move up 1 for auto, and then this pilot light lights up. And then this is to adjust the sensitivity. And then this portion here is for the rear wiper. Okay, so the transmission is an 8-speed ZF automatic. Put your foot on the brake and pull all the way back down with the unlock button for drive. Slide left for sport. You also see what gear you're in once you enter sport mode. To go to manual, just pull back or push forward. You can also use the paddle shifters mounted behind the steering wheel. Half a click up is neutral. All the way up with the unlock button is reverse. And you do have parking sensors and dynamic guidance lines. Half a click back from reverse is neutral. And then this button here will turn off both the parking sensors and the backup camera. And right behind the gear shifter we have the electronic parking brake. So put your foot on the brake and press down to release. Pull up to apply. There's a pilot light here letting you know the parking brake's on. Same with this warning here on the dash. Which brings me to my next point. We have automatic brake hold. Now it's on. And when the brakes are actually holding the car, the parking brake light turns green. The auto H just means the system is active and ready to work. You can also leave this on indefinitely if you so choose, so when you shut the car off, the car goes into park and sets the parking brake if you have auto hold on, and then once you start it, the parking brake goes off. And then push the P for park. And if you're in sport or manual, it slides the shifter back over to the center. So here's the driving dynamics controller. We're currently in comfort mode. And here's Eco Pro. It also changes the dashboard. I'm going to go through the 3 different dashboard looks real quick. So you have Eco Pro Standard and Individual. You can also configure Individual. So reset to Eco Pro Standard. Steering feel, which I'm not really sure why you would want a sporty steering feel in Eco mode. Light and sight, climate control, seat heating, coasting. So when you let off the gas, it's a similar feature to Mercedes Glide mode. It drops the idle down. Notifications, so speed notification, 80 miles per hour is the maximum speed before you receive a notification. You can also disable that entirely. Now moving on into Sport, it changes the characteristics of the dashboard entirely. I love the red accent. But anyway, we are currently in Sport Standard. If I press Sport again, now we're in Sport Plus. And then Sport Individual. So here's Sport Individual. Currently I have it set for comfortable steering, Sport Plus engine and transmission, but you can have Sport steering, which is the default setting, along with Comfort Sport or Sport Plus for the engine and transmission, so you could mix it up. That's what the Sport Individual is all about. Like, for example, I can set the transmission to be Sport, engine in Sport Plus, and the steering being Comfort. And then reset to factory settings. And then back to Comfort. Then one thing is that this button off to the left, which is a blank switch, you can actually press it even if you didn't get the option here, which is adaptive mode. And adaptive mode automatically adapts the driving mode based on your driving habits and basically how you drive the car. The car will detect, what mode to put you in based on not only your driving dynamics, but also the road. So that's pretty nice. iDrive controller right here, which I'll get to later. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and turn on the lights, fog lights and the hazards. I'm also going to go ahead and pop the hood. All you got to do is pull twice. There's no latch underneath the hood. So as I've said, it's got full LED headlights. And these cameras up here are for the BMW connected drive system. So that's to let you know that you're getting too close to someone, for instance. So it's a good warning system. Underneath the hood we have a 2-liter turbocharged twin-power turbo inline 4, producing a maximum horsepower output of 248. Some coolant information, what type of oil you need, and emission control information. Here's where you put your windshield wiper fluid. Here's where your air filter goes. And then coolant reservoir. So this one's for the engine, and this one's for the electronics. It's got this nice kidney grill here with automatic opening vents. So you can't really see the vents right now because they're open. They open when you turn on the car, and they close when you turn it off. LED side turn signal mirrors. The tires on this car are Hankook Kinergy GT all season and run flat tires. As you can tell by the RSC and the HRS, meaning Hankook run flat system. So here's the fuel recommendation. 91 is recommended, not required. 89 is required. Coming over here to the rear. In the trunk we have a decent amount of storage space. Power outlet, a hook, and then these levers here are to fold the rear seats down in case you needed extra storage capacity. Alright, so lighting controls, as I've demonstrated: fog lights, lights off, parking lights, automatic lights, and lights on. So most of the time you're going to want to leave it in auto, because this is the mode where if you have adaptive lights or automatic high beams, those features are going to work for you. They're not going to work in the manual on setting. Then roadside parking lights, which I'll demonstrate when I turn the car off, because you can only use these when you turn the car off. The onboard computer button. So that's the horsepower and torque meter. Media. Now I've just enlarged the drive mode and gear position. So, for instance, miles per gallon, so average, fuel economy, and then the odometer, as well as data since the last drive or since refuel. High beams. You can also opt for steering wheel heating. And if you had adaptive cruise control, you would have buttons off to the left or right for that. So one for your distance and one for the adaptive cruise control system. Alright, so coming to the vehicle settings, you have driving information. So you can see your trip data, sport displays, so your horsepower, torque, your driving style analysis, which is only available in Eco Pro. So I'm going to switch to that temporarily. So that gives you a good idea of what to look for. And energy flow. Vehicle status, so Tpms. Tire settings. So you can set between summer tires or winter / all weather or all season tires, depending on what you have. By the way, the tires are on 18-inch rims, not 19-inch rims. You can also perform a tire pressure monitoring reset, which I did, so I can't really show you the tire pressures right now, but you would see exactly how much air is in the tires when you enter this menu otherwise. Check control messages, so obviously the Tpms. service schedule. So and engine oil level. So this is pretty cool. To do this, you have to be in park or neutral, and when you do it, the engine idles up to 1100 RPM. Some storage space. And then the glove box, small amount of storage space. There's the hardcover copy owner's manual in case you didn't want to use the one on the infotainment system. And then this piece here will slide if you want to hide your cup holders and additional storage. X3 logo right here, as well as an X logo when you open the door. 2-person memory. Press this button to set, and then press one of these buttons to program the current settings for your seat, mirrors, and whatnot to your liking. Lock and unlock. All 4 windows are fully automatic. And then this button here is for the tailgate. You push down to open. And you pull up and hold to close. Power folding mirrors. And then the window restriction, so when that light is on, only the driver can control the windows. Some additional storage down here. Panel dimmer. Alright, so back to the engine oil level measurement. I'm not sure if you could see that or not, but basically, it's green whenever the level is okay or to the maximum, which it was. But it changes color as you're getting lower, obviously, to give you an idea that it's time to add more oil. Settings. So, key button settings. You can set the unlock button to either unlock one door or all doors with one click. Otherwise, you have to hit the button 2 times to unlock all doors. And then for the tailgate, when you open that with the key, you can have it set so that it only opens the tailgate and keeps the car locked, or unlocks the entire car. Climate control. So this can also be accessed with this button here, the menu. So temperature adjustment, auto recirculation, seat heating, and pre-ventilation. So I've set the automatic activation to activate the front heated seats for below 38 on level 1. Auto recirculation. Doors/access. Alright, so this is where you can disable stuff like the automatic mirror folding when locking, also the beeps, as well as the turn signals flashing. You can also enable the vehicle automatically turning off after opening the door, so if you forget to shut off your engine, then that would be helpful, but most people turn off their engine and they have enough discipline to, so they would find this to be a nuisance, especially if they wanted to keep the car running while they run into the store with other people in the car still. Unlock at the end of the trip. Lock after starting to drive, so once you exceed 10 miles per hour. lock automatically, and then tailgate opening height, displays. So driving mode view, control display, can dim your brightness at night. You can also turn off the control display right here. And then to turn it back on, just use the iDrive controller or touch it. It is a touch screen. Instrument panel can enable reduced mode, and when you do this, the numbers off to the left and right disappear, as do the fuel gauge and coolant temperature gauge. Additional information, converted speed. So now you can see both miles per hour and kilometers per hour in a digital fashion, as opposed to the speedometer, which can only show one speed at a time on this model, or one type of speed, miles per hour as opposed to kilometers per hour. And then central display area. So right now it's on the nav. Now it's completely off. So map view once again, and then route preview. Driver assistance programs, safety and warning. So pedestrian warning, frontal collision warning, you can set so that it's more or less sensitive. And then parking and maneuvering. You can adjust the volume. You can have it set so that this automatically activates. Exterior lighting, pathway lighting, you can set the delay, welcome and goodbye, daytime running lights, one-touch turn signal. So just swiping up will activate the signal flasher 3 times. Driving mode. So, stuff I showed you before. General settings, date and time. Automatic time zone. Time format. You can switch between regular and military time. Language, personal assistant. So, what this is similar to the Mercedes MBUX system, where you say, hey Mercedes, you can say, hey BMW. Hey BMW, find the nearest gas station.
Which one of these destinations should I select?
Cancel.
All right, see you later.
Units, so you can go between Newton meters, pound feet, horsepower to kilowatts, bar, PSI, and kilopascals, Fahrenheit and Celsius, sound settings, so your equalizer, bass, as well as your volume limiter. So character input is where you can use the iDrive controller to write things down. Speed warning. You can turn that on and off. Fatigue and focus alert. So this does have infrared sensors to detect if anyone is drowsy in the vehicle, particularly the driver. Reset trip data. And then format system memory. Driver profiles. So you need a BMW account to fully utilize this feature, but you go here to add a driver profile. Not going to get too much into depth in that. Owner's manual. Again, I'm not going to cover much with this, but for example, you can go to topics, controls, and find what you're looking for. For example, under driving, instructions, so recommended instructions for driving the car. Then regulatory notes. Then apps. There's the App Store, and then you can view your installed apps. Like you can contact your service center directly from your car instead of having to go on your computer or phone and schedule an appointment. So that's pretty cool. Alright, so coming down here to the climate control, I've already discussed the menu. Max defrost, rear defrost. This button here switches between automatic and manual climate. So, fan speed, zones, and then when you're in sync, you can control both of the zones from the driver's side. Seat heating. Max AC. Sync. Recirculation. And AC on and off. And when you're in the automatic mode, you can still adjust the intensity of the fans. So it's not a fully automatic climate control, but it is a semi-automatic, so you can get the fans to blow faster by turning this down. Before I check out the back, I just want to go over the interior illumination controls. So this is the interior illumination override. Reading lamps. This here opens and closes the sunroof. It's one touch. And then push in to tilt. Emergency SOS. Garage home link. And then the controls on the seat. This is for the bolstering. Move it forwards and backwards, and then tilt it forwards and backwards. Alright, so in the back we have a couple of USB slots, rear climate control, automatic window controls on both sides, and interior illumination controls with a reading lamp and rear illumination, respectively. And then cup holders. And that pretty much wraps it up. Also, if you happen to shut your car off while it's in gear, it goes into park. But if you shut it off in neutral, you have to put it into park, otherwise you can't lock it. So with that said, that concludes this review. So if you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up. subscribe if you're new, turn on post notifications, do what you guys do best, and peace out until next time. I look forward to seeing you. Psych! There's one more thing I meant to show you guys. Almost forgot about this. So, roadside parking lights, what you do is when the car is turned off, you press either one of these buttons to turn the corresponding roadside parking light on, and you get a warning message in the display and a warning chime if your door is open. And then to cancel, just press the same button that you use to turn the roadside parking lights on with. So in this case, if it were the right side parking lights, you press the right side parking light button to turn them back off, and you're good to go. Now, peace out. Hope to see you guys on the next video.